For 35 years, my life belonged to everyone else. You watched me raise my siblings. You watched me wait for marriage. And for the last few months, you've watched me disappear. I saw the comments. Where is Jana? Is she hiding something? Why did she go silent in Nebraska? Well, today, the silence ends. And the reason for it is finally sleeping in my arms. On December 30th, just before the new year rang in, Stephen and I welcomed our son, Archie Gerald Wissmann, into the world. We didn't post the bump updates. We didn't do the magazine covers. We kept him just for us. And honestly, it was the best decision I ever made. But now I'm ready to let you in. I'm ready to tell you how we hid a whole pregnancy, the truth about leaving Arkansas, and what it's really like to finally be a mom after watching from the sidelines for so long. This is the story of Archie. This is my story. Hi everyone, it's Jana. If you are watching this, then the secret is finally out. For the last few weeks, I've been living in this beautiful, quiet little bubble with my husband Stephen and our newest addition. On December 30th, 2025, just one day before the year ended, our lives changed forever when we welcomed our son, Archie Gerald Wissmann, into the world. I remember typing out the caption for the announcement post. I wrote that we took some time to settle into our new rhythm before sharing this sweet news. And honestly, that was so important to us. In my family, news usually travels fast, like really fast. But with Archie, we wanted to be the ones to hold him first. We wanted to know the shape of his nose and the sound of his cry before the rest of the world did. Seeing the headlines pop up today, Jana Duggar welcomes baby boy, it felt surreal. For so many years, the headlines about me were always about being single or gardening or helping my sisters raise their babies. To finally see my own name next to the word mom, it is a feeling I can't even describe. We are just soaking in these early days. It is full of sleepless nights, yes, but it is full of so much love and wonder. It's been a long road to get here, 35 years of waiting, but looking at him sleeping in my arms right now, I know every single second of the wait was worth it. Let's talk about the timeline, because I know you guys are doing the math right now. We actually announced the pregnancy back in August of 2025. I remember posting those black and white photos and telling everyone that a little bundle of joy was coming in January 2026. But as the due date got closer, I made a choice. I went quiet. I stopped posting bump updates. I stopped doing the house tours. I really just wanted that last trimester to be peaceful. Growing up, every single moment of our lives was filmed. I loved sharing my life with you, but I realized that pregnancy is such a vulnerable, intimate time. I wanted to experience it without the pressure of creating content. So when Archie arrived on December 30th, Stephen and I decided to keep it a secret for nearly a full month. We spent the whole month of January just learning how to be parents. We learned how to swaddle him. We learned how to function on 2 hours of sleep, and we did it without checking comments or worrying about likes. It was the best gift we could have given ourselves. We wanted our new rhythm to be established on our terms inside our 4 walls before we opened the door to the public again. I honestly don't think I could have kept this secret if we were still living in Arkansas. Moving to Nebraska to be with Stephen was a huge shift for me, but looking back, it was exactly what I needed. Here in Lincoln, we have a level of anonymity that I never had growing up. We bought this little fixer-upper house, and for the last year, that has been my entire world. I wasn't Jana Duggar, the reality star here. I was just Jana, the neighbor who was always at the hardware store buying paint samples. That physical distance from the big house and the media center of my family allowed me to just be. The Nebraska winters are cold, but they are so cozy. Stephen's family is nearby, and they have been incredible at respecting our privacy. They didn't leak the news. They didn't post photos without asking. They protected us. Living here, away from the paparazzi drones and the constant speculation, gave me the space to prepare my heart for motherhood. I missed the farm in Arkansas, sure, but building this quiet life in Nebraska gave me the freedom to become a mom in my own way, without an audience. Ruined till last summer. We had been married for almost a year. We were deep in renovations. I mean, there was dust everywhere. We were tearing down walls. It was chaos. I remember feeling just off. I was tired, more tired than usual. I told Stephen I thought it was just the stress of the remodel or maybe the summer heat. I decided to take a test early one morning before Stephen left for work. I was standing in our half-finished bathroom when those two pink lines appeared. I just sat on the floor and stared at them. I had helped raise so many babies. I had held so many positive pregnancy tests for my sisters and cried with them. But seeing it for myself, it's different. It's terrifying and electrifying all at once. We announced it to the world in August, but that morning was just for us. Stephen was over the moon. He has always been so great with kids. He has plenty of nieces and nephews too, but seeing him realize he was going to be a dad changed something in his eyes. He immediately went into protection mode, making sure I was eating enough and making me promise not to lift any heavy drywall anymore. Okay, the name, Archie Gerald Wissmann. We have seen the comments asking if we named him after the royal baby, Prince Harry's son. Honestly, no. We just really loved the name. We wanted something that felt classic but cute. We wanted a name that would suit a little boy running around in the dirt, but also a name for a grown man. Archie just stuck. It feels playful but strong. And Gerald is a family name on Stephen's side, so it was really special to honor his heritage too. We did play around with a lot of J names. Old habits die hard, right? And my parents definitely made suggestions. But in the end, we wanted him to have his own identity. Naming him felt like the first big decision of his life that was truly ours. We didn't have to run it by a committee. We didn't have to worry about a matching theme. We just looked at him with his little full head of hair, and we knew he was an Archie. It fits him perfectly. You guys are such good detectives. I honestly don't know how we pulled this off for so long. People have been asking, how did you hide a whole baby bump on YouTube? The secret was the renovation. It was the perfect distraction. We were filming all these updates on the house, painting cabinets, installing floors, landscaping. And if you go back and watch those videos now, you'll see a lot of strategically placed countertops. I became an expert at standing behind kitchen islands or holding a throw pillow. I also wore a lot of Stephen's flannel shirts. I'd say, oh, I'm just dressed for painting, but really I was hiding a 6-month bump. There were a few close calls. I remember one time we were filming a tour of the nursery, which we were calling the guest room at the time, and I almost tripped over a box of diapers we had stashed in the corner. Stephen and I just looked at each other and froze. We had to edit that part out. It became a fun little game for us. It felt like we were keeping this precious secret safe in the middle of all the construction chaos. For most of my life, the world has known me as the Cinderella Duggar or the ultimate sister, mom, and I get it. I spent my 20s and early 30s raising my siblings. I changed thousands of diapers. I managed the homeschool schedules. I cooked dinner for 20 people. I loved it, and I wouldn't trade those years for anything. But there was always this little voice in the back of my head wondering, will I ever get to do this for my child? Moving to Nebraska and becoming a mom to Archie has been a huge identity shift. For the first time, I'm not just the helper, I'm the mother. It's different when it's your own. When Archie cries at 2 a.m., I don't hand him off to a parent. I am the parent. There is a weight to that responsibility, but there is also so much freedom. I don't have to follow anyone else's rules. I can decide how we sleep train, what we feed him, and what traditions we start. It feels like I'm finally graduating from the role everyone cast me in and stepping into the role God actually designed for me. I have to talk about Stephen for a minute because, wow, I knew he would be a good dad. I saw how he was with his nieces and nephews. But seeing him with Archie, it melts me. From the moment we found out, Stephen was so involved. He wasn't just a bystander. He went to every appointment. He read the books. He built the crib with his own hands. Literally, he was out in the workshop sanding the wood to make sure it was perfect. When I was in labor, he was my rock. He didn't panic. He just held my hand and prayed over me. And now, seeing him come home from work, still in his work boots, and immediately reach for Archie. It's the sweetest thing. He talks to him in this soft voice that I never hear him use with anyone else. I waited a long time to get married, and people always told me I was too picky. But watching Stephen hold our son, I know I wasn't being picky. I was waiting for the right teammate. Okay, the birth story. So, Archie's due date was actually in early January. We thought we had plenty of time to get through Christmas and New Year's. We had plans to just relax and eat leftovers, but Archie had other plans. On the morning of December 30th, I woke up feeling weird. I told Stephen, I think I'm just having Braxton Hicks. We went about our day. We actually went to the grocery store. I was walking around buying snacks for New Year's Eve, stopping every few minutes to breathe through these cramps. By the afternoon, I realized, okay, this is not a drill. We called the midwife and headed to the birth center. It was snowing lightly, just a beautiful, quiet winter day in Nebraska. I remember sitting in the car, looking out at the gray sky, thinking, we are going to meet him today. It wasn't chaotic. It wasn't scary. It was just peaceful. We listened to worship music on the drive, and I just kept praying, Lord, keep him safe. Let me meet my son. Labor is hard work. I knew that theoretically, but experiencing it is a whole other beast. I have so much respect for my mom and my sisters now. But Stephen was amazing. He never left my side. Archie Gerald was born late in the evening on December 30th. The moment he came out, the room went silent for a split second, and then we heard that first cry. It was the best sound I have ever heard in my entire life. They placed him on my chest, and he was so warm and heavy. I looked at Stephen, and we were both crying. We didn't say anything for a long time. We just stared at him. He had this full head of dark hair and these big, alert eyes. In that moment, 5 years of waiting, wondering, and praying just vanished. All the lonely nights, all the questions from strangers about why I wasn't married yet. None of it mattered. I was holding my son, and as the snow fell outside and the year 2025 came to a close, I knew that 2026 was going to be the best year of my life. We decided to keep Archie to ourselves for the entire month of January. People have asked, was it hard not to share him? And honestly, no, it was the easiest decision we ever made. Those first 4 weeks are such a blur. We were living in this newborn bubble where day and night didn't exist. If we had announced his birth right away, my phone would have been blowing up. I would have felt pressure to post a cute photo when I hadn't showered in 3 days. By keeping it secret, we bought ourselves peace. We established what I call our new rhythm. Stephen took time off work, and we just sat on the couch staring at him. We learned his cries. We learned that he hates having his diaper changed but loves bath time. We learned how to be a family of 3 without the world watching. It felt like we were stealing time. In a life that has been so public, having something that was just ours, even for a few weeks, Felt like a rebellion in the best way possible. Of course. My parents were the first to know. We FaceTimed them from the birth center right after Archie was born. My mom, in true Michelle Duggar fashion, started crying immediately. I think this is grandbaby number 30-something. I honestly lose count, but she made us feel like Archie was the only baby in the world. It is different doing this from a distance, though. Usually, when a Duggar baby is born, the whole family descends on the hospital. The waiting room is packed, but being in Nebraska meant it was just us. My dad was beaming through the phone, giving Stephen advice, and talking about how he can't wait to meet him in person. It's a bittersweet feeling. I miss having my mom right down the hall to help, but I also appreciate the space. We don't have the chaos of 20 people coming in and out. We can introduce Archie to the loud, crazy Duggar world slowly. For now, he just knows Grandma and Grandpa as the happy faces on the screen, and I think that's a nice, gentle way to start. My sisters have been my lifeline, especially Jessa. You guys know we are best friends. She has been texting me every single day. Since I'm a geriatric mom, I hate that term, but it's true. And a first-time mom, I had a million questions. Is this Rash normal? Why is he making that sound? Jessa, Jill Jinger, Joy. They all rallied around me from afar. Jessa sent this massive care package that arrived perfectly timed during our first week home. It had everything: nipple cream, comfortable pajamas, snacks that I actually wanted. It was like she knew exactly what I needed before I did. It's funny, the dynamic has shifted. I used to be the one giving them advice on gardening or decorating. Now, I'm the student. I'm humble enough to admit I don't know everything. Listening to my younger sisters guide me through motherhood has been such a sweet bonding experience. They aren't just my little sisters anymore. They are my mentors in this season, and I respect them so much. I want to be real about the recovery. I grew up watching my mom bounce back from birth like it was nothing. She would have a baby and be cooking dinner the next week. I always thought, okay, I'm a Duggar. I'm built for this. Well, let me tell you, it knocked me off my feet. The physical recovery was harder than I expected. I was sore, I was emotional, and my hormones were all over the place. There were days I just sat in the rocking chair and cried because I was so happy, but also so exhausted. Living in Nebraska allowed me to actually rest. I didn't have to put on makeup for a film crew. I didn't have to host visitors. I stayed in my pajamas for 2 weeks straight, and Stephen waited on me hand and foot. He wouldn't let me lift a finger. Having that permission to be weak, to heal slowly, was a gift. I realized I don't have to be super Jana who does it all. I can just be a tired, healing mom, and that is enough. There is a lot of talk about privacy in my family, but I've learned there are two different kinds. There is Duggar privacy, which is usually calculated, hiding things for a season finale or a magazine cover. And then there is Wissmann privacy, which is just living a quiet life because you value peace. Stephen comes from the Wissmann kind. He taught me that we don't owe the world every detail. When we were debating when to announce Archie, Stephen said, "Jana, we don't have to announce him at all if you don't want to." That blew my mind. We chose to share him because we are joyful, not because we are obligated. That shift in mindset has changed everything for me. We aren't hiding because we are ashamed or secretive. We are protecting because we treasure him. We have set boundaries now. We won't be sharing everything. You won't see his potty training or his meltdowns. We are keeping the messy, real parts just for us and sharing the highlights with you. That balance feels healthy. Come on in. Welcome to Archie's room. For 30 years, I have decorated rooms for other people. I designed the boys' dormitory in the big house. I helped Jessa with her nursery. I helped Joy. I was always the interior designer, never the client. Finally, getting to design a room for my baby, it was a dream. And let me tell you, it is very different from the rooms I grew up with. In the big house, everything had to be durable, industrial, and fit for an army. Here, I could choose soft fabrics. I could choose light colors without worrying that 20 muddy toddlers would ruin it in 5 minutes. We went with a vintage explorer theme. Lots of warm greens, creams, and natural wood. Stephen built the crib, of course, and I painted a little mural of trees on the back wall. It's quiet. It's calm. Sometimes I just come in here while he's napping and sit in the rocking chair, looking around. It hit me the other day that this room isn't a dormitory. It isn't a content studio. It's a sanctuary. It's the place where I get to be mom. It's the project I've been waiting my entire life to start. A lot of you have noticed that even now, I'm not posting every day, and that is intentional. The internet can be a loud place. When you grow up reading comments about yourself from the time you are 12 years old, it affects you. I didn't want Archie's first year to be documented for likes. Stephen and I made a rule. We prioritize the moment over the post. If we are having a sweet family moment, the phones stay in the other room. We take photos for us, not for Instagram. It's been a detox I didn't know I needed. Instead of curating a perfect mom feed, I'm just living the messy, tired, wonderful reality. I'm sure I'll share more as he gets older, but right now I'm enjoying the privacy. I don't need validation from strangers to know that my son is cute or that I'm doing a good job. Seeing Stephen smile at me across the dinner table is all the validation I need. We are building a life that feels good on the inside, not just one that looks good on the outside. I have to talk to the women who are still waiting. For years, I was the single Duggar. I was the poster child for waiting. And honestly, it was hard. There were nights I cried. There were years where I wondered if God had forgotten me. I watched all my younger sisters get married and have babies, and I felt left behind. But looking at Archie now, I see God's timing so clearly. If I had gotten married at 20, I wouldn't have met Stephen. I wouldn't be living this life in Nebraska. I wouldn't be the woman I am today. God used those years of waiting to prepare me. He taught me patience. He taught me how to be content in every season. And now that I'm here holding this miracle in my arms, I want to tell you, don't give up hope. Your story might not look like everyone else's. It might take longer. It might take a different path. But God writes the best stories. Archie is proof that he answers prayers, even the ones you've been whispering for decades. Oh, so the question everyone is afraid to ask, but really wants to know. Are you going to have 19 kids? Kishi laughed softly. I love my family, and I loved growing up in a big house. But Stephen and I are starting a little later in life. We are just taking it one baby at a time. We are so in love with Archie, and if God blesses us with more, we would be thrilled. But we aren't chasing a number. We want to focus on quality over quantity. We want to be able to give each child our full attention, to really know their hearts. Whether we have 1, 2, or 5, our goal is to raise them to love God and to love people. We aren't trying to build an army. We are just trying to build a family. So, no pressure! We are just enjoying this little guy right now and trusting God with the rest. As I sit here holding Archie, I think about the legacy I want to leave him. He is going to have a very different life than I did. He won't grow up on television. He won't have to share a bedroom with 8 brothers. He won't have the weight of the world watching his every move, but he will know he is loved. He will know his cousins, his grandparents, and his heritage, but he will also have the freedom to write his own story. I'm not just raising a Duggar grandkid, I'm raising a Wissmann. And together, Stephen and I are starting a new legacy, one built on faith, but defined by freedom. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for cheering me on during the waiting years, and thank you for celebrating with me now. The secret baby isn't a secret anymore. He's our son, and this is just the beginning of our best chapter yet. Bye for now.